there. There's no way we can continue without both of us doing this show together. So, Rick, great to have you back. I know it's not easy to always make the time to get these shows in. But good to have you here, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure.
We are in the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield at the Bakersfield, California. And already in our shot, you see 3 people. Normally, we start the shot with 2 people. But we have a third person. So let's get into the Jam playbook and let's get the first quarter started here on Jam Central. All right. Our assistant coach, Tyler Marsh, is our guest. You know, what a fun opportunity it is to do a show like this, Rick, because we can bring in assistant coaches, get to talk to them, get to know them. But before we get to Coach Marsh, hang tight real quick, Coach, because we have history-making stuff happening in the Dignity Events Health Center with the Bakersfield Jam. Again, the major, yes, sir, Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's what a milestone. You know, Ronaldo Major has been in the Development League 4 years with the Dakota Wizards, where he scored his first 2,903 points.
Wow.
And in the third quarter on Friday night against Reno, with his 18th point of 26 that night, he drops in his 4,325th to retake the title from a great player in the Development League as well, Ron Howard of the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, who had the record for a mere 8 months. So, you know, what can you say about a guy like Ronaldo Major? And Tyler might want to expound on that, assistant coach Tyler Marsh, in a little bit, but from the time Ronaldo Major's been here, as well as the time he's been in the Development League, he's been nothing but a class act, a consummate professional, and just a great guy with incredible moral fiber.
Well, you know what's interesting is that when we had him on the first show, we have Ronaldo Major on the first show, and then we interviewed Bubba Burridge, the general manager, up in the Jam Center. I talked to Bubba, and I said, you know, I think the world of Ronaldo Major. It's so nice to have him here. And the words that Bubba mentioned to me was, he said, Vance, he's so unselfish. He's just so unselfish. And as a veteran like that, who, as you know, leading scorer, if he wanted to, he could fill it up every night. He could hang onto the rock every night. He could stay in the corner every night and just call for it. But he's so generous. He gives the ball up. He's helping these youngsters out. And it couldn't be a better segue into our guest to talk about it. Let me give you a quick bio of our guest, and he'll talk about Ronaldo Major. Tyler Marsh, assistant coach. He's a Miami native, played college basketball at Birmingham and the University of Alabama at Birmingham. His degree is in business administration, currently pursuing a master's degree at Texas Southern University in human performance and development. Coach, great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you.
Tyler, share a little bit. First of all, if you could talk a little bit about your experience with Ronaldo and how you feel about this tremendous achievement by Mr. Major.
Well, it's an honor. It's an honor to have been a part of it that night. I know Ronaldo takes great pride and respect for that and for that award. And a lot of the things that you guys mentioned had to do with the things that he does off the court. But the part that I respect the most about Ronaldo is how much of an influence he's been in our locker room. And being in the D-League this is my 3rd year, you start to see how much of an impact veterans have and how important they are in the locker room when you have rookies and guys that get sent down from the NBA teams that may not be so happy to be there, in the D-League for that short stint. But Ronaldo, during the time that I've been here, he's been, nothing but a positive influence on those rookies that we have. And the 2 games that we had, T.J. Warren and Tyler Ennis from the Suns, I mean, they all respect him as well. So he's been great.
Yeah, great stuff, Tyler. Tyler, you've played the game collegiately. You mentioned you've been in the D-League 3 years, and you grew up playing basketball because you had a dad for a coach. Mm-hmm. Share a little bit about that experience and how that's helped you, not only in your playing, but as well as transitioning into coaching.
It's been great because, from a young age, I've been able to see the game a little bit differently than the average player, just because of being around my dad and always being in the gym with him. You start to pick up stuff a little earlier than others may. And, some people, the question that I always get is, was my dad tough on me, growing up playing under him for 2 years. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. He's never been one to put much pressure on me. He was a great basketball player back in his day, and I never kind of felt that pressure growing up to have to live up to anything that he did. So no, it was great. I just used it as a learning tool. I always knew that professional basketball was where I wanted to be, whether it was as a player or as a coach or maybe in the front office or somewhere. So I just kind of picked up little bits of information through my playing days and by being being the son of a coach, and it's got me to where I am now. So
Let's talk about some of those playing days. You played with AT, you played with Adrian Thomas, Robert Vaden, Elijah Millsap, who we're gonna have Elijah in here in a minute. You played with these players now that we're seeing in the Dignity Events Center. Tell us about the players that you've played with that are with us now.
I guess I'll start with Adrian. Me and him were on the same AAU team back when I was a junior and senior in high school. We played for a team called Team Breakdown based out of Florida. He's from Miami. I'm from Miami. So that's how we have that connection. And Robert Vaden and Elijah Millsap were both teammates of mine at UAB. I was with Robert for 2 years and Eli for 1 before I transferred to Birmingham Southern. The cool thing is that my dad was an assistant at UAB, so I got to be teammates with those two. My dad got to coach those two, and now I'm being able to coach both of them, and it's really just been a blessing.
All right, a couple of things. I spent 10 years in Miami, so after the show, let's talk a little. Let's have after the show, and we're off the air. We'll have a little Miami chat.
Yeah, those are conversations we can have on there right now. So.
All right, so Rick and I want to know that you played with these guys. Now you're coaching them. I mean, hey, are you able to pull them off to that side and say, hey, my man, you got to work on this. What's wrong with this? Why aren't you doing this? I mean, what level of getting into them can you really go to?
Well, the first thing is you got to understand that these guys are professionals, and they're at a level that I was never able to play at. They're at a level that our coach Nate was not able to play at, but they have great respect for us as coaches, and they know that that we know the game and know what we're talking about. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. They want to know that you care about helping them get better, that you know what it takes to help them get better, and they see that in me and the rest of our staff. So. From that aspect, that hasn't been a problem. I'll speak a little bit about them individually. Robert, he's probably the toughest teammate that I've ever played with. He's just back at UAB. He was just a guy that was never afraid to take the big shot and play in the big games, and that's something I've always respected of him. And Eli, I've always told people about Elijah that. He was a pro before he became a pro. Just the way that he handled himself off the court, you could tell that he had a big brother, that played in the NBA, and Paul Millsap, and he just always approached the game the right way. So that's something I've always respected of him.
That's very, very, very important. Especially you talk about you mentioned it a few minutes ago. You talk about some high-level rookies that were big names in college, and they were the guys in high school, and they were the guys in AAU. They come to the development league, and some of these guys' egos are very, very, very fragile. And so you talk about a guy like Elijah, who was a pro before he was a pro. That's important.
No doubt. And our guys are seeing that. We're still in the process of getting our rookies and our team to buy into everything that we want to do. But when you have guys like Robert and Eli who have been in this league, and Ronaldo who have been in this league and come in and day out and put in the time and the work ethic, that kind of stuff is contagious and spreads around the team, and it's been great for our team thus far.
Yeah. Tyler, as an assistant coach for head coach Nate Bjorkgren, basically, what are your daily duties and responsibilities on the court as well as off the court?
This year has been a little different. The last 2 years, we've had a little bit more help as far as interns go and that kind of thing, just as far as the day-to-day duties that we have, and we've kind of had to take a little bit more responsibility, myself and the other assistants on staff. But from a day, the majority of my tasks involve player development. Anything that, anytime guys want to get in extra work on the court, that's all me. And anytime we deal with in-game statistics or any kind of evaluations that way, scouting reports, that's all me. So we all kind of share responsibilities and duties when it comes to off the court. But on the court player development is kind of where my realm and my expertise, so to speak.
Last few games have been pretty exciting. You know, I'm PA announcer, so I'm right there. Rick's right behind me. His voice goes around the world on YouTube, and so the last couple of games have been really, really, really fun. Let's get some of your thought as we roll some of the highlights from the last few games. We're speaking with assistant coach Tyler Marsh. Here's some looks. These are highlights of dunks. Oh, Lewis, what are you showing me? Oh, goodness, that was Elijah. That was a big dunk, huge dunk. Watch this, everybody. Bam! Remember that one, Coach?
Absolutely, absolutely. I always remember that one right there.
I was sitting just over there with my thunder sticks and the kids, and I just said, "You got to be kidding me!" Ay, ay, ay. Hey, that is a pro's dunk.
Oh, no doubt. And sitting on there at on the bench when you see a dunk like that, it's kind of hard to contain yourself and not get caught up in the moment.
So these are dunks around the D-League. Oh, nice. Okay. And by the way, you look at that facility that the Lakers have put together. Don't kid yourself, everybody. That is an absolute following of what the Jam have done. I remember this baby here, too. Ooh, that was nice. Good stuff. Who's this, Rio Grande? Man, oh, man, oh, man. That looks like an association dunk right there.
Clint Capella on assignment from Houston.
Talk us through it, Rick. Oh.
He slams it down like a big boy should.
What about the charge? What about the charge?
Exactly.
No?
Well, we should have had a number of charges
Oh,
in that game.
Goodness gracious. So we're looking at some D-League dunks. Bow! Look at the score. 107-94 with 5 to go. Again, here's another defender's dunk. Oh, that's beautiful. Good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Our guest is assistant coach Tyler Marsh. He's watching some NBA. He's watching some NBA D-League dunks. Here's the dunk cam. Hey, we need to get. Do we have that in the Jam?
It's a little Roscoe Smith right there.
Oh,
last
and
night.
boy, Roscoe had a night, didn't he? Last night. Last night I just kept. We would get on a little run, and I'd have to stop and go Smith. Oh man, with the left, that's nice. So, Coach. Can't thank you enough for being here. You know, in a few seconds, we're going to go into our segment when we talk about the Phoenix Suns. But how do you feel about that affiliation with a squad like Phoenix?
It's been awesome. I've been able to see both sides of it, being an assistant for Iowa last year and kind of being one of those hybrid teams with multiple affiliations, and to be associated with a single affiliation in Phoenix, it's been great. Myself and I know you guys had Bubba Burridge on the set before, and we constantly communicate, and it's always good to have a single affiliation because that team is hands-on with you, and you can kind of go to them and depend on them whenever you kind of need something or want to find out more about players. When they send down guys, it's always helpful. So it's been a great affiliation so far.
We're going to close out this segment with you giving us an update of the Suns and a few highlights of the Suns. Coach, been great to have you here, and thank you for your time, buddy.
Thank you. I
Appreciate it. What do you have about
And
this?
happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk about Suns Rise.
Hey, the Suns, 12-10 in the Pacific Division, would start in the 8th spot in the Western Conference playoffs. Still a young team, 7 guys from the Development League, including someone we're going to show in highlights here in just a minute.
Oh, Gerald Green?
Yeah, Gerald Green.
Well, here we go. This is what everybody's talking about here.
Green wiggles up and scores! He passed it to himself and hammered it down.
I remember when he used to do that with the defenders as well.
Way to
Not the
wake
same
up the crowd,
exact.
Gerald Green. Man, if it wasn't so tight over here, I probably did a little somersault.
That looks like a Tyler Marsh dunk.
That is the play of the season for the
Once again, Coach, great to have you with us. It's been a real pleasure. When we come back, we're going to meet a couple of our NBA Development League Bakersfield Jam players. Once again, Assistant Coach Tyler Marsh. Have a great season with us here in Bakersfield. Back in a moment with Quarter 2 on Jam Central.